This is part 2, because I keep getting cut off. So this is part 2. Part 1 will be either up or alone. We got to the point where we're talking about, you just had your testicle removed, the emotions of that, and then you've got to go and wait another 4 or 5, sometimes 6 weeks before you actually see an oncologist, and an oncologist is a cancer doctor. Most lads, all of the lads, will tell you that waiting is horrific, emotionally and physical, because when you're emotionally weak, and I don't mean that in a bad way, physically you go with it. You know, if you're tired and confused and you're depressed and upset, your physical side of your body goes with it. You know, you lose a lot of drive, you lose a lot of energy, you lose a lot of bounce. So those weeks of waiting are horrible. Waiting for diagnosis and reports and scans are horrible. A long, tedious black hole of, I can guarantee most lads will agree, it's okay going to the shops with your family, or going to the park with your family, or your partner, or whoever. As soon as you're alone, things start coming into your head. Every little pain in your body is that cancer spreading. If you get a headache, you think you've got cancer of the brain. If you cough, you think you're starting to get lung cancer from it. You get a pain in your fingers, you think you've got finger. It plays with your mind psychologically. And then what do? We look at Google. Don't look at Google. You know, it always puts worst case up. But being alone when everyone's gone to bed, or you're just sitting by yourself, those emotions and feelings start to kick in, and it's hard. It's hard to be waiting for results and to know what's what, and knowing that there could be cancer growing in your body, or haven't got it early, without no real info from anyone. We all want to be told we're fine as soon as possible, or what is going to happen as soon as possible. So, like I've said, if your partner or your son or whoever, a friend, is at that stage where they've just lost a testicle, although he may be acting fine, he will be scared, he will be worried, and he will be wondering what's next, if you get me. Join the group, because there's a few lads in there at that minute. There's lads in there who had it years ago and will talk to you. By the way, if we get cut off again, I'll have to do part 3. But then we go into, you get your results from, you get called into you might get called into the urologist first, who says, yes, we found the cancer, and then put you through to cancer hospital, or you might go straight. They might just send all the info to the cancer hospital. So, you get eventually a phone call or a letter to say, you've got to come into the cancer hospital. And that's sort of, yes. I think a lot of lads up until then think, oh, they made a mistake, they're going to ring me up and say, no, it was harmless. But when you do get the cancer letter, you think, right, it is cancer, obviously, that I've got, and sort of hits home. And you go and see the cancer doctor, oncologist, and this could have been 2 months or whatever since you've been first told that you possibly got cancer. So by the time you get there, your energy is gone, your confidence is gone, you're tired, you're wound up, and we put a brave face on, and we get in there and we don't know what to ask. We just get told, yeah, you've got tested cancer, blah, blah, blah. We're going to give you blood tests, blah, blah, blah. You're going to have a scan. It's all confusing, it all comes in quick, and write it down, because most lads will after a couple of hours of walking out of the place, what did he say? What did he say? I've got to have a scan, I've got to have blood. Why? What's all that? Why have I got to do all that? What's my treatment? What treatment am I having? Because they've got to find out what type of cancer it is, because different cancers have different treatments. Some cancers haven't spread, some have, and so you need this type of treatment for one, or that type of treatment for the other. It's all very confusing. But the main two are non-seminoma and seminoma. Most lads under 30 get non-seminoma, and most fellas over 30 get seminoma. But you can get, there's no rules, but that's what happens in most. But say that, but you know, at that stage, it's a case of going back home again, knowing you've got cancer, and what's next? Am I going to have treatment? You know, because you've got to go and have blood tests and a CT scan, which will tell you if the cancer spread in most cases. So you go back into that zone of being brave and jolly, and but you're waiting again, and waiting's awful. You want to be told you're fine as quickly as possible. I know it's the same with breast cancer or whatever, and any of the other cancers. Waiting's awful, but so all of a sudden, you know, it's been 2 months maybe, and your family around are terrified and scared for you, and you don't know how to act around you. You're telling everyone you're fine, don't worry about me, and, you know, and sometimes it's the wrong thing to do, you know, talk about it. Tell someone, look, I'm terrified, I'm scared of you. You know, come and talk to us in the group, talk to me. But if you're looking in at someone who's got tested cancer, they will be, they're putting a brave face on. Near enough all of them are scared. My hat needs just done it. So anyway, we get to sort of the stage of, right, we know what treatment you're gonna have. If some people, there's a misconception that some people who've got it early and only need the testicle taken away and don't need any treatment, that they should be all right. No. To be told, it's the same for every man, whether you have long treatment or not. You've had all that 8 weeks of really hard emotional and physical stress from being told you have cancer. You can't be told, we've got the cancer early, you won't need any chemo, we're just going to keep an eye on you from now on and be okay. You can't just, right, that's good news, back to work, blah blah blah. You've just been told you could die, or you're in that group who could die of cancer. So a lot of lads contact me and go, oh, I'm fine. I'm going straight back to work. I'm not arsed. They are. They'll be back. They'll be back in touch with me within months, saying that their head's gone a bit, and there's nothing wrong with that. But from my experience, the ones who act too brave are the ones who will struggle as well. You know. So, but if you're looking in to somebody who's just been told they've had tested cancer and been told that it's early and they only need to take the testicle away, they'll still be in that. I call it post-traumatic stress disorder. I believe you get after cancer. I believe men get it, and it's hard because don't forget that man or your son or whoever has got the same feelings as somebody who has to have loads of treatment. What's that pain in my leg? Because you're in the system, and all of a sudden you're told, we think we've got it early, we'll see you in 3 months. And you're sort of like pushed out the hospital. And that's not a dig at any hospital. That's the way it is. Well, we'll see you in 3 months. Oh, hang on. I was told I had cancer, my testicle's gone. I'm in the hospital. And then they said, we'll see you in 3 months for a checkup. But that doesn't tell you you're going to be all right. Let's get one thing straight. A doctor will never say to you, you're cured. Whether you've got advanced cancer or early signs of cancer, because they don't know. They'll say, oh, everything's looking all right, see you again soon. Everything's looking years and years afterwards. You know, they'll never say, we've cured you, because they don't know what's going to happen. So lads want to be told they're cured. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen. You just get told, we'll see you soon, you know. So that time for someone who's been diagnosed early is still stressful. Having lots of chemo is a different thing, but afterwards, you know, they'll try and act normal and try and act hard and stuff, but if they get a headache, they think they've got brain cancer, or if they get a pain in their elbow, before that you'd ignore, I've just got a headache. So it's hard. And don't forget as well, if you lose your testicle, your hormones will take a knock. And if the testosterone's all over the place, men can get grumpy and snappy and horrible. And if they've got post-traumatic stress, they'll get snappy and a bit grumpy and snappy, which most lads I've spoke to who've had an early diagnosis or a long diagnosis, they're irritable afterwards and snappy and horrible. And one of them things is things become irrelevant from before. You think, oh, is that relevant? As something that you'd worry about before seems irrelevant. And someone around you, even your loved ones, will say, oh God, if cars fail its MOT, you go, what? Is that all you got to worry about? And get snappy. Expect that sort of reaction at first. Men do get like that. But lads, remember, if you've got tested cancer, remember, the people around you don't know what it's like to have cancer. So if they've got a small problem, it might be a big problem, so don't bite their head off. Got to work both ways sometimes. One of the things after or through tested cancer or cancer, small things that other people worry about become irrelevant to you. And some people react badly to it. They go, that's irrelevant. But we've still got to pay the bills, haven't we? So, but it's hard, right? But let's talk about those lads who have to have gone loads of chemo. Now, chemo, as most of the lads who've had tested cancer, whether it be a couple of rounds or months of it, will tell you it's absolutely horrific, right? I'm not going to sit here and say, it's all right. It's not. It's horrific. I've had, I can't remember, some of the lads in the group, like Ryan and Mick, and Carl has had tons of it, and it's hard. It's very hard because it's another journey. It's you've got to have all this chemo to try and get rid of the cancer, right? Which in most cases it does, and you go into this zone of numbness where you start to not recognize day and night. You start to not recognize what day it is. You start to not recognize what time it is. You're plugged into the machine in the hospital for days and days. You start to feel awful. Your hair starts coming out, and then you're home for 2 weeks. And at first, you slowly start to feel like crap and tired and awful. And all of a sudden, and you're back in the hospital again for loads more chemo. By this time, your hair's completely gone. You're feeling rubbish. You're in this zone of nothing's relevant, and you start to feel even worse because you're having more chemo. So eventually this carries on and on until you get to a zone that you're that ill that nothing's relevant at all apart from finishing this chemo. You're tired, you're out of breath, you're zonked. But lads get little bursts of energy, like they'll feel like rubbish for a couple of days. They can't even function, they struggle to go to the toilet, to waking up in the middle of the night full of energy. So, like I've said, your body doesn't recognize day or night all the time. It goes into I've got energy now, so I'm getting up at 3 a.m, and then by 6 o'clock in the morning, you feel like you want to go to sleep all day. It's a strange thing it's a strange time. But basically, overall, most men find it hard. It's horrific. And putting that with the emotional stress of going through chemo, the physical is pretty tough. So when you've finished your chemo, let's say you go to that stage of waiting to find out whether it's worked. Now that could take weeks. That could take a fair while. What they do is they need to give you the chemo, leave you for a little bit to see if it's worked, then scan you. And if the scan comes back, the chemo's worked, which in most cases it does, that's a massive relief. But you want to be relieved, but you're so ill from the chemo, you don't register it really. You just think, you can't jump up for joy. You can't jump around and say, drop open the champagne. You're too sick, if you get me. Now, it must be awful. I've looked in on cancer because my partner had cancer not long ago, and I know what it's like to look in and how scary it is. So I know what it's like to look in. But then again, people around you think, should I go and give them a hug, or should I just leave them? You know, or what do I say to them? We don't know what to say to someone with cancer, even if it's someone we love close, you know. But the lad or the man or whatever, in most cases, the chemo works. So, but then it takes months and months to feel okay again. It really does. And in them months, you've got to go for your checkups and your blood tests. And again, those lads who are recovering from chemo, they'll get a pain in their lung or the pain in their head or a pain in their arse, whatever, and think, oh my God, they spread. Have they made a mistake? I need to know. And you're wanting to know as soon as possible, has this chemo worked? And it doesn't work like that. So in a nutshell, after all that time, and months and months and months of not knowing, and chemo and stress and depression and tiredness, you can't come out the other end okay. The first year is horrific. So, you know, the first year, let's go to a point of you've done your chemo or you found it early and you've been told that it's worked, right? Or the scan's clear. Then what happens is, right, we're going to keep an eye on you. We'll see you in 6 weeks or 3 months, every 3 months for a couple of years, right? And the doctor doesn't say, you're cured. We're all waiting to hear, you're cured. He's not going to say it. So from all of a sudden being made a fuss of chemo and going in and out of hospital in a routine, and you know the chemo's, even though you feel rubbish, this chemo's here to make me feel better, to get rid of the cancer. So all of a sudden be, right, you finish chemo, we'll see you in 3 months. Hang on. Why 3 months? Tell me now. Oh no, we have to see if the cancer comes back. It might do, could not, most probably won't. Oh, hang on, why have I had all that chemo? You should be able to tell me. Have you got rid of the cancer? Well, the scan's clear, but we can't tell you we got rid of it. We need to leave it. So that's not the end of it. And people go, why have I had all that chemo? And they can't even tell me I'm okay. All cancer is a long process. So let's think about it. A young man has been told he's got cancer, lost a testicle, waited and waited, and his head's battered because he's waiting to know whether he's got cancer, is it spread and all that. Then all of a sudden he'll be on treatment or not treatment, whatever, to then be told, I will see you in 3 months. And that is not a dig at any of the health service. They're brilliant. But that's how cancer goes. Unfortunately, there's not much set up in this country for men in that area to come and have a chat, apart from our support. There are support groups around the world, but our support group is a private group where you can go and at any stage and rant, and it's private and no one will see it. But that first year is horrific, right? Physically and emotionally, because you've been told you've got cancer, and I rattle on, by the way. You've been told you've got cancer, you've had the treatment, you've been brave, you've acted all hard. To be all of a sudden finished all the treatment, blah, 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 I will see you in 3 months. I'm pushed out of the hospital. We don't want to see you for 3 months. Hang on. Now that is hard. It's very, very hard to be in a place where you think they're sorting me out, they're getting rid of my cancer, to be thrust back into life and expected to be okay. You know, a lot of people think, you go and tell people that you know and you love, I've finished the chemo, the scan's clear. Oh, he's an idiot. A lot of people think, oh, you'll be all right then, you're cured. You know, and act as normal. You go back to work, blah, 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 blah. No, it doesn't work like that. You just had months and months and months of being absolutely terrified for your life and all the treatment and expecting to be okay. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. You know, that lad's still terrified. That lad is still scared stiff. You know, every pain, you know, he's coming from chemo as well, where slowly but surely he'll start to get his energy back, but it takes months. You've got pins and needles and numbness from the chemo. Your hair starts to come back and then patchy and falling out. You have periods where you can't walk for hours because you're too tired, because chemo has knocked knocks you for 6. And it takes a long time to even feel halfway better. It could take months. You know, you're still feeling the after effects of the strong chemo you get for testicular cancer years afterwards. So the first year is horrific. So what do? Do we try and act hard and be normal, or do we turn around and say to our partners and loved ones, look, I'm still terrified, I'm still scared. You know, what do we do? But my advice is to any man, once you've been through diagnosis and you finish your chemo and you're waiting for more results over the months and months, is to tell the truth. Say, look, love, or whoever you're talking to, I know I've had all that treatment and it's all looking good. I'm still scared. I'm still a bit scared. I'm going to get up and down and ratty. I'm going to get snappy, right? And I might be a bit grumpy. But don't take it personally. It's the way I'm feeling, if you get me. And if you're hearing this, if you're a wife or a partner or a mum or everything, if they do say that to you, which they probably won't because they're acting hard and I'm not bothered and I'll be all right. But trust me, that nail on the head there, that they're going to get grumpy and snappy and very inward because the energy's going. They've been brave and stood up to cancer for months and months and months. We're all human. You can only do for so long. You can only have so much energy and positive thought. Eventually it gets to you. At some point in that first year, they're going to find themselves in a really horrible, dark place, and no one can really escape it. Now, what you can do about it is, like I've said, if you're looking in, say, look, I know you've been through all that, and I know you've been through all the chemo, and I know you're not going to be yourself for a while, and I know you're worried about checkups, and I know you're worried about blood tests and what the scan results are going to be in the future. So if you're feeling a bit ratty and miserable and tired and angry, I understand. Yeah. And if you've got the cancer, say the same. I'm going to be up and down for a while. The chemo's absolutely knocked me out. I'm terrified about the results coming up. You know, I'm still in pain from the chemo, you know, and every little pain I get, I think there's cancer spread psychologically. That's what you think. So if I'm a bit low with you or a bit snappy, don't take it personal. You know, that's what happens. No one can escape it, no matter how brave they act. Just get some people who lock themselves away in rooms, and you get some people who are quite vocal. But let's talk about, you know, hormones has a big effect, which they won't tell you in the hospital. If you lose a testicle and have loads of chemo, or not have chemo, you're losing a part of your hormone system. Simple as that. We're still years behind the rest of the world when it comes to testicles and hormones. If you have a testicle removed, your hormones go everywhere. If you have chemo, it knocks your hormone systems sideways. And a man with low testosterone can get depression, can get aggressive, can feel alone and tired, but most of all is probably depression. Low testosterone causes real bad depression where you can't see the end of the tunnel. Now, your testosterone might start to come back naturally, or it might not, which is why you need to get tested. Now, the GPs and the oncology cancer doctors don't want to get involved in hormones, and I can understand that, right? Because they're there to get rid of your cancer. But I think they should at least say, okay, let's put you over to endocrinology. You've just lost a testicle. Because in my opinion, they call it a urological cancer. Yeah, testicle cancer is a urological cancer. But they're producing hormones 24 hours a day. Shouldn't they be a part of the endocrinology system? And endocrinology, whatever, cancer. Because, yeah, they produce sperm, yeah, but if you only have 2 kids in your life, you've only used your testicles for sperm twice. But 24 hours a day, they're producing testosterone. So I think the shift over to the testicles are more to do with the hormone system, and the baby making system would improve things. But like I said, you need, if you're a partner or someone your love's got testicular cancer, I'd actually ask your doctor, not long afterwards, what, can we check his testosterone? Or if you've got it, you need to ask your doctor what my testosterone level's like. Because if they come back really low, you'll know at least, well, that's maybe why I'm feeling rubbish, right? As well as the cancer and everything, that's not helping. But then again, you might have to wait a bit to see if it starts to recover again. But if it goes down and stays down, you need treatment afterwards. But that's a different story. Low testosterone is hard and horrible as well. But let's get back to emotions. I'm rattling on, trying to save the world as usual. Right, the first year is hard. They're going to be snappy, irritable, horrible. And then all of a sudden they'll be all right. They might seem fine. And you think, oh, they're back to their old self. But I can guarantee they're waiting for that next checkup. And when that next checkup comes along, they'll go grumpy, scared, irritable, very sort of, I don't know the words, I'm not very educated, but when you're talking to them, maybe saying something to them, they're not listening. It's because they're thinking about it. And you might say something like, oh, I need new shoes. And they'll turn around, what do you need shoes for? We test next week. That's normal. They're worried. And I know you're worried as well. But we all try and carry on. Do we act normally and carry on like life as normal to make them feel normal? Because we don't know what to say. You don't know what to say. But like I said before, tell them on both sides, I'm feeling rubbish still. Please understand I might get a bit grumpy one day or a bit, but, don't take it personal. I'm worried about the cancer I've just had. And the same if you're looking in, say, look, I know you're terrified. I know you can't get back to normal quickly. I know that you've just been through cancer and you've got all these checkups to go through. I know you're going to get scared. So, you ever want to talk about it or a cuddle or, I'm there for you. The first year is hard, sometimes longer, I know for a fact, because I set up Chet Lads 16 years ago and I've had it twice myself. And I spoke to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lads right across the world. I guarantee the best thing for testing cancer is time, because it's still fresh in your mind when you first have it. You're terrified, you're scared. But once those checkups get further apart, once they say after a year, they say, hasn't gone back in a year, that's brilliant, right? Okay, we'll see you in another 3 months for a test, right? And a chat and a checkup. Okay. And then after maybe a year and a half, 2 years, you start to think, this hasn't come back, I think I'm going to be all right. And within time, you start to forget for your checkup. I forget my checkups. I've never missed one, don't get me wrong. But I've gone, oh my God, I'm meant to be there tomorrow, after time. I think with time, and you realise that it's probably not going to come back, and all the scans have been fine up till then, you start to calm down. You still got the worry about it. We still get the pain in the chest or the pain in the leg or the pain in our eye. Oh my God, I've got eye cancer. You're never going to get rid of that for the rest of your life. But I think the more spread out the checkups become and the longer away from the initial chemo and diagnosis, you start to really relax and calm down. If, however, your testosterone is at a good level. Some lads, years afterwards, although they want to feel great, they want to feel better, but the testosterone won't let them. Because low testosterone and post-traumatic stress disorder have the same sort of symptoms of being depressed and low and no energy. Excuse me. But it's all very complicated, but get your testo checked. I'll do another video about it another day. But what I've been trying to address the life after cancer and what it feels like as a man. We act hard, we act brave, but sometimes, in most cases, inside we're getting eaten up, we're terrified. My first cancer, in 2000, I can't remember, 2003 was it? My head went physically, mentally, afterwards was awful. Uh, wasn't a good bloke, violent, nasty, but tired. But then we found out not long after that my testosterone had completely gone, which doesn't help. And I got some treatment for that, and I started to feel really better a lot quicker. The second time I had cancer was it last year or the year before. I'll test just your memory. It was a couple of years ago. If anybody on here knows me, remind me. Believe it or not, the second time they told me, I shrugged my shoulders. Your cancer's back. I don't know why, and I'll never understand it. I just shrugged my shoulders. And I remember saying, you're not giving me more chemo, I'm not having it. And he goes, well, you're going to have it. And a lot more than last time. I said, I'm not having it. I told him to F off. And as I was walking out, Professor Clark says, well, you're going to die then, Phil. I went, all right, I'll start Monday. You know, it was just a couple of words sorting me out. But, you know, but I think it was easier my second time around because I knew what to expect from the chemo and I knew the emotions. I wasn't happy about it, but I knew what was coming. So it wasn't as hard the second time. Chemo was hard, don't get me wrong. But emotionally and physically, I thought, I'm all right. And I think this is between me and you get a bit deeper here. When Laura got cancer 6 or 7 years ago, in between mine, luckily they got that early, and I said to God, although I'm not particularly religious, if you're going to take someone, take me, not her. So to be told for years and years, Laura's cancer isn't coming back, and then for me to be told my cancer was back, I thought, right, he's listened. You're not taking it, take me instead. That was one of the reasons why I just went. And to be honest, they found the cancer again by accident because I've been signed off. I'd slipped a disc in my back and had a scan. Oh yeah, you slipped a disc, by the way, there's 6 tumours growing up your spine. But I hope I've addressed some of the things here that you might find relevant. Quickly go through it again. A man for the first year after from being diagnosed through taking the testicle away to the scans and the treatment, and afterwards for maybe a year is going to be up and down, and sometimes nasty, sometimes snappy, sometimes distant, sometimes maybe push you away, sometimes a lot of things, right? It's not personal. It's nothing personal. They've got a lot to think about in their mind. You know, is this cancer going to come back? The chemo's knocked me for 6. You know, side effects, long-term side effects of chemo are deafness, ringing in the ears, can't feel your hands and your fingers, out of breath, extreme tiredness, and I mean extreme tiredness. Like a hangover that won't go away. You just can't function sometimes. And then you have months of feeling better. All them side effects come back, bang, and you hit the bed. You feel like you can't function. And then they go away again, and then you might have 3 days of feeling great, and then a week of crap. Then you might have 3 months of feeling great, and then 1 day of crap. There's no rules. Eventually it gets easier with time, and things start working better. You know, and I'm just saying this from experience because I think it needs to be said that people can watch this video and think, right, at least I know emotionally what that man might be about to go through, or my son. If you're looking in, you know, don't take things personal. You know, let them know that you'll always be there for them. And if they need a hug or a cup of tea or a smile or a joke, you're there for them. Because we try to act, and it's not our fault. We sort of, like, he's been told he's going to be all right now, so let's crack on as normal, because you don't know how to act. Do I carry on as normal so I don't remind him he's just been through cancer or he's going through cancer? Let's be honest, all of us, before we had cancer or cancer came into our lives, would see someone we know walking up the road bald, or not bald, doesn't matter. Oh, how are you? I've got cancer. What do you say? Oh, right. Oh, you don't go, oh, lovely, do you? Or you don't go, I don't feel sorry for them. Maybe they don't want sympathy. It's the same as if your husband or your son has got it. You know, it's very hard for everyone. There's no rules really, but I'm just trying to make you know that that's what we feel. So in time, you know, but I'll finish with time sorts. Now, most lads survive testicular cancer. Some take longer to get there. Some have to have a lot of treatment. But the longer you go on, the more at ease you become with it. Don't do what I do, forget your checkups. I'm stubborn, you know. But time will sort. Have some counselling. It helps. Can you see my eyes there? Counselling does help. I know you're a big lads. I know you're big, brave, hard men. Counselling helps. It's up to you. I've sent a few lads counselling, a couple who were near the line, and it helped. You know, get your testo checked, your testosterone checked. Go to your GP. I don't care whether you had it 2 weeks ago or 10 years ago. Get your testosterone levels checked. They could be low. They're saying now people who have testicular cancer have low testosterone anyway. It's a part of the thing. I'll do another video about it another day. There are more people better qualified than me, but I can do a basic one. But I hope that's helped. And now any lad who's had it now can share this video to their mum or the partner and say, look, I'm at that stage. But, you know, if you're feeling down, whether you had it 10 years ago or 10 minutes ago, come in a group and rant. We're not going to laugh. We're not going to think, oh, shut up. We'll talk to you. We've all been at, I know lads in there, the biggest, hardest lads. Some of them are soldiers, some of them who come in and rant privately. I'm feeling like crap. It's all right, yeah, it's going to happen. I was like that the other day. Oh, is it normal? Yeah. Yeah, what do you do? Oh, we have this drink or them vitamins or this and that, yeah. It will help you. We don't always get it right. We're only human, but at least you've got somewhere to go. Give whoever you know is autistic a little nudge to join our group. We don't fundraise in there. We don't ask for money. It's a group where everybody feels comfortable and doesn't feel like they have to donate to anything or anything like that. So, like some of the others. But I hope this makes a bit of sense. I'm always there for a Skype call. Is it Skype? Yeah, FaceTime to anybody, mother, wife, partner who wants to chat face to face and have a chat. But I hope you can watch this video and realise that it takes a while. The lads are going through a horrific time, as you are, because you're worried about them. But, you know, as men, we try and be brave, and sometimes it doesn't work. It works against us. All our energy goes into being brave, and eventually that energy runs out and it goes bang, and we go either really, really down or other things happen. But Miguel again, why have you changed your name? Yeah. So the thing about Checkham lads, we're just a bunch of lads who've had it. We don't want to be the biggest and the best. It's not important. We don't want adverts all over the world. We don't want adverts on the telly. We don't want to be famous. We do this because we're a bunch of lads who know what it's like, and we want to help other lads going through it. It's not important to us at all to be the biggest and the best, not even the slightest. We're happy. We don't have to worry about that. So come in the group if you need any questions asked, or you can email me through the website or on here, message me from a number. There are other lads in the group, really, really lovely lads who have it. I won't list them, they know who they are. Very close to my heart. Sometimes I'm a bit grumpy with them and they're a bit grumpy with me and think I'm useless and that, but I'm not feeling very well at the minute, as the doctor has pointed out. But yeah, join the group. But I hope this video helps in some way, that anybody who's had testicular cancer can now share this to their partner and say, look, I've wanted to say this, but I haven't had the bottle. or somebody who you know is going for testing, you can watch and think, oh, he's going through all that. I can't understand why he's a bit grumpy and he's a bit down, he's a bit sad. But I'm always there, as the lads in the group will be for you. Might take us a while to apply because we don't do this full time, it's part time. But we'll get to you eventually. I hope you have a nice day. Bye now.